It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the pledge of allegiance on the 4th of July. It's the handwritten letters from home. It's the sleepless nights alone. Newborn baby you left at your wife. It's the red, white, and blue. Lay down his life. It's the red, white, and blue. While these stars in the stripes. From the hills of Indiana, from the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, while these stars in the stripes.
Battle on the home front. I got a great show. First off, happy birthday to all you devil dogs out there. It's their day, y'all. But tomorrow's Veterans Day, a day we're going to celebrate and highlight the men and women that fought for this country. Big shout out to OKGOP TV, Chairman McLean for giving veterans a voice in Oklahoma. I want to thank my sponsors, Prater Roofing and Construction, Heat and Laser Engraving, Active Duty RX, Barrage Coffee, and American Wholesale Hemp. I got my good buddy John Hill on. He's a Purple Heart recipient, absolute hero, and good friend of mine. And I'm looking forward to hearing his stories about navigating the struggles in life on the home front after an injury like that. Stick around.
Introducing all new, safe, natural relief. A cannabinoid-rich, clarity and focus formula when it matters most. You've got a job to do. Anxiety isn't an option. Programmed to keep you moving. A product exclusively manufactured for Active Duty RX by Cantech Labs.
American Wholesale Hemp is a farm-to-shelf distribution company dedicated to the prompt delivery of high-quality U.S. Farm Bill-compliant PCR products. We hold our suppliers to the highest of standards of American hemp production and are committed to the service and education of our clients. American Wholesale Hemp is establishing a global network of those who value the quality products we have to offer. Contact your American Wholesale Hemp affiliate today.
What's up, everybody? Battle on the home front here with my buddy John Hill. We actually met at the Battle on the Home Front fight. We got invited there by... You won my giveaway, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dr. Brandon Bailey, he fought that night, absolutely destroyed. My throat was so sore the next day.
Yeah, mine too.
Getting it, screaming, cheering him on, and he was victorious that night and gave us a check and donated the Battle on the Home Front. It was cool, and that's when our friendship was formed, and I'm grateful for it. And here you are today on the show.
Sir.
The Battle on the Home Front family is going to get to hear your story and what you got going on. You're a decorated Army guy, and tell us a little bit about your story and history, and dig on into it.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, bro.
I'm John. Grew up here in Oklahoma. Born in Germany. I joined National Guard in 2010, May 26th, as a 91 Bravo, a light vehicle mechanic, and went to basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia. Then went to do my AIT at Aberdeen Proving Grounds in Maryland. Came back home for about a month and got contacted by Delta Company, first the 179 Infantry, it's National Guard of Oklahoma, to go to Afghanistan, which was crazy.
What year? What year?
This was June of 2011 that I got there. So I think I got orders to go April. Started moving in April. Got there about June 2011. I spent 6.5 months there. I was blown up several different times. A couple times I was in a vehicle, 3 different times I was in a vehicle. I almost got hit by incoming mortar round 2. Going to the side of a mountain is kind of crazy. the first two getting blown up was crazy, but the first two IEDs, they were just kind of small. They hurt, but
Yeah, I'm sure
we were able to walk away from it, which was nice for sure. And then the last time I got blown up, we were going into a valley to secure a high value target, and we actually went out the same way we came through, which was
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it made me mad.
Bad leadership right there.
Yeah. So on the way out, vehicle got hit. I couldn't walk. I wasn't able to bear weight on my leg for like the first 6.5 months after.
Really?
Up. Yeah. It was
After the first one?
After the very last one.
The last one.
Yeah.
The last one.
The last one was the time that I actually, as a result of that one, I ended up getting my leg amputated. I spent 2.5 years trying to save it from being amputated.
Oh, wow.
I had 4 different reconstructive surgeries.
Really?
Metal in and out twice. It just kept getting infected. My body wasn't accepting the metal. It kept re-breaking every time I would try to run and bear weight on it the normal way. So after about 2.5 years, I actually elected to have it amputated.
A lot of the femur breaks and stuff like that. I know a lot of people that's gotten femur breaks up high, right? And that was a big issue, and they were talking about having to lose their legs because
Correct.
of that infection.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because the doctors, they actually told me typically people with this injury end up amputating within a year to a year and a half.
Really?
And so that's what really drove me after 2.5 years. You know, I seen what all these people with prosthetics can do, and I wanted that for myself because
he was limited. He was very limited.
And it tore me apart too emotionally. You know, not being able to function as well as I used to be able to. I got heavily addicted to pain pills. As a result of that, you know, trying to use that as a cope to get out of thinking about it, you know, everything that went on over there and things like that.
Yeah, I can, so many, you can't, it's gonna happen, especially with a massive injury like that. You know, the opiates, the pharmaceuticals, they're gonna happen. And then we get into addiction, right? And then we use the injury or whatever as the crutch for the addiction,
right, to
numb the pain, right? And so it's, well, I'm abusing because I don't have my leg, you know what I mean? And so we use that, and it's a vicious cycle.
Oh yeah.
So many of us go through.
Yeah, when I first got back, it was funny because I was mad at the world, and this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you. I didn't know how you felt about everybody else that hadn't gone through what you just gone through. Like for me, I mean, I was like super upset at the world and didn't want anything to do with them. I'm like, how dare you guys? You have no idea what it's like to be over there. We take the life that we have here in the United States for granted.
For sure. Like all these people that are burning a flag. When I see that, it infuriates me, and it's not. You can be mad at your government, and that's a rightful thing to be, and I understand that, but that flag, when you burn that, is a representation of the men and women that fought for this country, the blue-collar families that work 9 to 5s, that are away from their kids every day, doing a job, providing, and when people burn that flag, it is just the most infuriating thing to me, because such sacrifices went into that, and it's not a representation of the government involved with it so much as it is the men and women that are normal working people and veterans that fought for it, you know?
Right. Yeah. I saw there's a T-shirt on Facebook. It said, "Until you risk coming home under a flag, you know, don't stand over the top of one."
For sure.
Stand on top of one.
For sure. I wish I could. Dude, if I seen somebody, you might as well just line me. I'm going back to prison.
Right.
Line me back up, because here I go. Put me in line, but
yeah.
So you come home in, and obviously mental health was affected. There's no way that you can go through the experience that you went through, not be affected, your mental health not be affected, and then addiction follows real quick with that.
Right.
What was some of your copes? How did you get through what you did? And
well, I mean, when it first happened, when I got addicted to my pain pills, I actually spent I was in a rehab facility 6 different times in a span of 6.5 years. So actually, the end of this October was 4 years to the day that I've been clean off of hard drugs.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
for sure. Thank you.
I know the struggle in that. I'm a recovering addict myself.
Yeah. So for that long, I played the pity party. Felt bad for myself, and then what really, I guess, pulled me out was having my daughter most of all. But I spent I spent 64 days in a rehab facility in South Florida, and then moved to Boynton Beach and lived there for about 9 months.
Why was you going out of state? Why rehab? Because I went to an out of state rehab, and it was one of my saving graces. Why was you going to? Was the VA doing it?
No.
Okay.
No, my private. I just was like, I want out of here. Private insurance. I paid. Actually, well, at the time, my how old was I at the time? I forget. I don't know. I was young enough. I was younger than 25 because I was still on my dad's insurance. So his work insurance, I was able to use that, but. Because I wanted to get as far away from everybody.
That's important.
That
I know that's the same thing. When I went out of state rehab, it was the best thing because I wasn't gonna, like all the other rehabs that I was already going to. I would call up the dope man and have him come pick me up from the rehab and have pills with him at that time. When you get out of state and you have no contacts anymore, you're there and you're forced in sobriety and then you find sobriety.
Right, and I think that's a huge thing too, because all the rehab facilities that I went to were all here local in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And, well, one of them was in Missouri, but I totally understand where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, that's. Anyways, go ahead.
So. I forget.
Yeah, so
I forgot where I was going. Hang on.
Going out of state. So going out of state.
Yeah.
He's nervous, y'all. He's like, I told him, I said, man, this is not live. You're good, bro. We can cut and edit, but we ain't going to cut and edit because this is just real life. This is us, and these are the struggles and the things that we face. And I really think it's important to talk about our past, is no matter how hard it is, whether that's prison, that's drug addiction, alcoholism, and suicide, all the things that we are prone to and we face and so many veterans face. I think our past builds the men we are, and when we can tell our story and we can help people, that's so powerful, because another brother and another sister veteran out there that are going through these things can see this show and see somebody that's normal and understand that we all go through definitely this stuff. But hey, we're going on a commercial, y'all. We'll be right back.
Introducing all new, safe, natural relief. A cannabinoid-rich, clarity and focus formula when it matters most. You've got a job to do. Anxiety isn't an option. Programmed to keep you moving. A product exclusively manufactured for Active Duty RX by Cantech Labs.
American Wholesale Hemp is a farm-to-shelf distribution company dedicated to the prompt delivery of high-quality U.S. Farm Bill compliant PCR products. We hold our suppliers to the highest of standards of American hemp production and are committed to the service and education of our clients. American Wholesale Hemp is establishing a global network of those who value the quality products we have to offer. Contact your American Wholesale Hemp affiliate today.
So did you probably went from pharmaceuticals, heroin, fentanyl,
Yeah, so
that whole...
I was prescribed pain pills, and then the doctor stopped prescribing them to me, and I wasn't ready to quit, so I just looked to the streets, and actually found some pain pills for a while. Then the last 2.5 years of my addiction, I switched to heroin, which was a super bad deal.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
I had a bunch of cool cars, Camaros, souped up, lost all of them. I was actually given a free home to as well through a nonprofit organization, and took advantage of that. Pawned everything inside of my house. Got a free 70-inch TV. Pawned that as well. I mean, it's nasty what addiction can do to you, and make you out to be a person that you're not. And then trying to establish and rebuild and get back into life, and proving to your loved ones for sure that that you're worthy of back being around.
Because eventually, no matter what, and I found this out through my addiction as well, as man, people will fight for you, but eventually they give up on you. And I'm sorry, it is the truth though, right? Like there's only so much, and you can only take advantage of someone's love for so long before they just say, I'm sorry.
Right.
Like you're either gonna have to figure this out or you're gonna die.
Right.
We love you though, and that's a hard road to go down. It's a lonely road, is it not?
Oh yeah, for sure.
God Almighty.
Yeah, and then so going back as well to spending that 9 months in a halfway house down in Florida after I got out of that rehab. I had a pretty much. I think my daughter was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years old at that time. And I still had to choose, to stay down there for myself and go through the process that I went through, learning about myself, and really it came down to accepting the fact of everything that I had gone through, in life, what I had lost through addiction, what I had lost going through war, all of that played a role in me coming back kind of full circle, getting off of drugs, wanting to get back to my kid. But the sacrifices that I took through my addiction, it's just insane what it'll do to you, in the way that people don't realize how, I guess, we feel inside about certain things, and they never will. But
it's something we have to navigate. It's a very lonely road, and it's hard to figure out. Addiction is just a very weird thing, and then people, even in addiction, when you make that decision, and even the people that say they're not using their addiction for mental health reasons, like numbing that pain, right? People that are just wanting to just spin off and feel good, and they're just doing it to do it. Right. There are such consequences with getting high all the time on narcotics, what it does to your mental health. And even when you get sober, like I am now, it has affected, all those years of abuse have affected my mental health. And I deal with, you know what I mean? So it's so crazy, like the people that just are like, well, I'm just spinning off, right? There's a price you have to pay in everything for life.
For sure, yeah.
And it's a hard road, but please continue.
Yeah, there's long-term effects for sure, definitely. I'm sure you've lost a lot. What about you? Going through your addictions?
My addictions. I ended up, as soon as I got out of the military, I was, I ended up being a homeless drug addict. I had a suicide attempt under my belt. And I had it real hard. And then I ended up getting into a very bad situation, and because of a prescription in my body at the time, and even though the thing was an accident, the wreck was an accident, I took someone's life, and and that was in 2014, and then by 2018 I started Active Duty RX, which was the option to give veterans other than pharmaceuticals to have another option. And prison followed that. By the grace of God, I got out, and that's what I do now, is advocate and try to get the word out about natural medicine on top of the stigma behind mental health. And so many people when we come home struggle in so many ways. Addiction, and you got to think of the 20 years of war fighting that we've done. How many people has come home, our brothers and sisters have come home and deal with addiction, coping, especially in the military anyways. Even if, say, they didn't deploy, what are they doing in the barracks? They're getting drunk nonstop. Yeah. And that, I think that would be just say cannabis, right? Legalization federally of cannabis, the lives that it could save for our servicemen and women that are serving, that could regularly smoke cannabis, instead of drink every day. It blows my mind that alcohol is okay, You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so many lives are destroyed with alcohol. It's ridiculous.
Right.
It's a shame, but yeah, that's my little tad bit. But please, come on, let's get some more. What you got? Where all did, I mean, tell me, like we talked about it earlier, for addiction, I think it's so important to go out of state for rehab.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, like, because my last rehab that I finally figured it out, I went to Mississippi. And that's right, that was in 2017 when I came home. I started digging real deep into natural medicines, nootropics, adaptogenic herbs, and I created Active Duty RX, CBD, you know, those natural plants that's been all over the world for hundreds of years in medicine.
Right.
That was working for these people. And I say it all the time, that God was the best pharmacist ever. All the plants he put here, he knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that was the best thing that I ever did. Was I went to in Mississippi called the Home of Grace, amazing Christian-based rehab. I'm believe in my God for sure, and that was the best thing I could do. And I think for other people that are struggling with addiction, to find a rehab that is definitely out of the state, because when you can't call your dope man no more, you can't call mommy to come get you, because I've done that. I've been to, you know, I've probably got 6 or 7 rehabs under my belt as well. A lot of them here in Oklahoma, only one out of state that saved my life. You know, and when you're away, it's way different than being able to call somebody and do that.
Yeah, so I went to one in Missouri as well, and it was all male rehab facility.
That's the only way it can be.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only way it can be.
But that wasn't the last.
For true
time that
sobriety,
I
anyways.
Yeah. I ended up calling my dad to come get me, and so he drove to Missouri and came pick me up. So
your dad loves you.
Yeah.
Big
for
time.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Your dad. So his dad and him were my contestants. They won on the Battle on the Homefront giveaway. And we watched, like I said earlier, we watched Dr. Brandon Bailey, and y'all were just up there getting
awesome.
it.
Oh, yeah.
It was cool that both y'all won that giveaway and getting to meet y'all. But go ahead, please.
Yeah, for sure.
I love your dad. He's a good dude.
No, so that was one of the times, but yeah, so then I went down to Florida, and I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed going down there because the weather was super nice, you know, so it was a lot easier to go through things and to not be stressed out in life, you know, being away from everything. You know, even though it was a huge sacrifice being away from my family, like I had said, but it was the best time that I had spent down there to really recognize who I was as a person, you know, accept, like, okay, you lost a leg, yes, you go through things, you know, but there's other ways besides drugs to, you know, to help you get through it.
I think that camaraderie, bro. I think that camaraderie is how, in what I believe is such a powerful tool in sobriety, in mental health, in all those aspects, is having that camaraderie that we yearn for, we miss, and we love. And I think that's the saving grace, man. I think that's a powerful tool. But hey, we're about to go on break. Y'all stay tuned. That it?
Introducing all new, safe, natural relief. A cannabinoid-rich, clarity and focus formula when it matters most. You've got a job to do. Anxiety isn't an option. Programmed to keep you moving. A product exclusively manufactured for Active Duty RX by Cantech Labs.
American Wholesale Hemp is a farm-to-shelf distribution company dedicated to the prompt delivery of high-quality U.S. Farm Bill compliant PCR products. We hold our suppliers to the highest of standards of American hemp production and are committed to the service and education of our clients. American Wholesale Hemp is establishing a global network of those who value the quality products we have to offer. Contact your American Wholesale Hemp affiliate today.
Hey everybody, we're back. John Hill, man. Awesome talk, man. We're getting into some good stuff. And I think a lot of veterans need to hear these things, you know. And I've said it probably already 5 times on the show, and me and you had the discussion too, but our past is what makes us. As hard as the road was, that I promise you, I know that losing your limb was going to be the most monumental thing, as in build your character and who you are, to show how strong you are, the man you are, surviving 3 IEDs. We talked about it earlier. That's what I told you. I said, that's the most alpha male thing possible, surviving 3 IEDs, And I think coming home for these veterans, and, we've been in 20 plus years of war, and I mean, there's men and women that are born in a war, and that's all they know, and these people that are coming back young, they're messed up. There's so many things, but there's nobody's highlighting a lot of the resources, and that's what Battle on the Homefront is, and that's what I started, was to highlight all these resources for veterans, to have a show, a place to tune into, everything from mental health, and not just mental health, but raising awareness to it and accepting it and breaking that stigma of it. I think that's so important, because we're alpha male, right? And it took me years and years of coming home and addiction, right? That losing family members that just couldn't deal with me, not being able to keep a job, loved ones just done with me by the time, and then they're like, dude, something's wrong with you, please go. Something's wrong with your head as well as your addiction. But I think advocating and highlighting that, and not just the mental health aspect, natural medicine, and also giving opportunities. Like, I just had Brian Paul on, I think my last show, and he's Veterans for Life USA, and it's a full broad spectrum of mental health, addiction. They send veterans and first responders to treatment centers all over it, and not just addiction, but they also do therapy programs, and I think that's super important. That's how I started Battle on the Homefront, was doing plant-based therapies for veterans. Awesome. They do equine and stuff, and I was talking about it earlier, and that camaraderie is so important to us. And I think that's what we're missing in all of the keys. You know what I mean? The keychain. Right. I mean, how important is camaraderie? That love, bro. Is that not the most beautiful love over there?
Yeah. Being there with everybody it's definitely
selfless service.
Yeah.
Just willing to die for your brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not thinking of anything. It's just it's almost peaceful in a time of war. It really, when y'all are together and that you're there for one purpose, and you're all there, you all got each other's backs. It's a huge blessing to know that and feel that way.
Did you ever? I'm a weirdo, right? Okay, so I wanted a warrior's death. I wanted to die for my brothers, and I thought that was the most powerful beauty. And actually, so I have that on my night ops. I have Bible verses on all my products, and on night ops it's John 15:13, which is, no greater gift than this, than a man that'll lay down his life for his brother. Right. And I truly believe that. I'm a weirdo though, so you might be different. But did you ever feel that, like, man, I would rather give everything for these people?
Yeah. I lived to go outside the wire every day. It was just I had no care in the world. I was just I took the day because of my rank, whatever I was told to do. I was just there to do a job, and I did it to the best of my ability. So.
Yeah, my first coin that I got in my service time, I wasn't a very good garrison soldier, you know what I mean? Yeah, at all, bro. Yeah. And I got my first coin in theater, and it was because I volunteered for every mission. I would talk guys into that were going out to switch me and let me go for them, or be a gunner that day, or whatever, in the MRAPs, or go on missions. It was all light patrol infantry, but and what's funny is, like, we're talking about not good garrison soldiers. I heard a story, Command Sergeant Robert Patterson, the Medal of Honor recipient, he gave me a coin last month or something, and he was talking about, he was like, yeah, I was the only person, because his commander actually wrote him an Article 15 the same day that he got nominated, or whatever it is, nominated for the Medal of Honor. Yeah. Oh, wow. And so he was talking about that too. He's like, I am not a good garrison soldier. He's like, I went in there and I got a Article 15, and the same day they ended up telling me I was getting the Medal of Honor. Oh, wow. So just because you're not a good garrison soldier, it means nothing, obviously. But what Veterans Day tomorrow, right? Veterans Day.
Yes, sir.
Man, what's that mean to you, brother? I know it means to me.
Right. It's I'm thankful actually that we're getting to do this the day before, I like to thank everybody. I like to sit back and remember everybody who who I was with, the ones that were close to me, the ones that we, all lost as a unit and then as a whole, for this country from the years past. But I like to take a moment of silence in the morning and just reflect. And it's
powerful. What something that I have been advocating for right now, and I'm bringing I'm highlighting is, people are still dying from the war. And I'm not talking about suicide or the pharmaceutical deaths, but I'm talking about the burn pits. Mm-hmm. And there are so many of our brothers and sisters that will die. What Agent Orange was to Vietnam, there's no doubt that our generation of warfighters, so many of our brothers and sisters will still lose their lives. And so to me, like, I think about that on Veterans Day, and man, I'm honoring the people that still could be losing their lives from the war, and obviously I advocate for the 22 a day and the 30 a day that died from pharmaceutical abuse, but I want to really, I'm trying to bring to light the burn pits. Mm-hmm. I deal with sickness from that every day. I'm nauseous and I throw up every day. I have really bad over drainage in my throat from it. I know what it was. It was from the burn pits, and I can only pray to God that it's not a cancer. I don't get a cancer down the road. And there's so many people. Afghanistan, I know they had a burn pit up there.
Mm-hmm. They're linking something like that to
bad deal
with the burn pits there.
Bad deal. It's just like Agent Orange, which Agent Orange in Vietnam was a pesticide that they put over all the jungle to clear the jungle, right? Cancer. I mean, men and women are still dying from Agent Orange. Mm-hmm. Nobody, man, they're not going to get They're not going to get they're not going to get Purple Heart. Excuse me. That's a combat. They're in a combat zone, and it's not an enemy combatant, but man, they're going to lose their lives, and they're going to get no recognition for the men and women. It blows my mind. That's something I've really been pushing about lately, though. But
what's crazy to me is how when soldiers used to come home from Vietnam and they were spit on and
that's crazy
and treated terrible.
Yeah, we have it. Our generation of warfighters. Man, we had it a lot different than the other ones, and I give my utmost respect to the Vietnams, obviously World War II, Korea, all those were a different breed of men. Mm-hmm. I mean, we definitely have some hardened men, but and especially even dealing with mental health coming back. We have so many resources, whether it's through the VA or a resource like Battle on the HomeFront to advocate nonprofit, veteran-based stuff, therapy options. Right. We do have a good resource available to us. Our brothers and sisters back then didn't have nothing. Yeah. And I think, that's for me, for Veterans Day, I like to think about, obviously, my brothers and sisters that fought and the struggles. A lot of mine is the struggles, that so many are going to go through, that are still going through. Mm-hmm. We're not in the clear, brother. Right. We're not in the clear. Addiction, suicide. Yeah. I mean, I got all my ducks in a row, and I'm doing my thing, and.
But we still have the past, we know we remember where we came from and things like that, and I think that's another thing that helps us drive forward.
For sure, it's my motivator to continue to do good, to help save people, because I yearn for that camaraderie. I love my brothers, I love my sisters, and I love advocating for them. And for me, Veterans Day is that right there, paying highlight to them and trying to bring light to situations that nobody wants to talk about. And y'all see it on Battle on the HomeFront. I promise. The burn pits are about to be I'm about to bring that up and start highlighting that big time. Yeah. How much has the VA helped you with all yours, with your limb, with?
It's been a long road. I didn't start out 100%. I actually didn't get 100% till July of last year. Maybe it was 18. I think it was last year. But I'm up to 100% now, so it's nice. There's some things that I wish were a little bit different for sure, but I mean, I don't have really much else to say about it.
Yeah, good. Well, we're gonna take a quick break. Y'all stay tuned for Battle on the HomeFront.
Introducing all new, safe, natural relief. A cannabinoid-rich, clarity and focus formula when it matters most. You've got a job to do. Anxiety isn't an option. Programmed to keep you moving. a product exclusively manufactured for Active Duty RX by Cantech Labs.
American Wholesale Hemp is a farm-to-shelf distribution company dedicated to the prompt delivery of high-quality U.S. Farm Bill compliant PCR products. We hold our suppliers to the highest of standards of American hemp production and are committed to the service and education of our clients. American Wholesale Hemp is establishing a global network of those who value the quality products we have to offer. Contact your American Wholesale Hemp affiliate today.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in to Battle on the Home Front. Big shout out to OKGOP TV and Chairman David McClain for giving veterans a voice here in Oklahoma. Shout out to my sponsor as well, Prater Roofing and Construction, Heathen Laser Engraving, Active Duty RX, Barrage Coffee, and American Wholesale Hemp. We have the luncheon this month, the 19th. Major Ed Polito is going to be there. Last month we had a Medal of Honor recipient. It was an absolute awesome event, and I hope to see everybody out there. Major Ed Polito is with Heart of the Lion. He's the founder of that. We're going to be advocating and giving veterans a voice in Oklahoma there. John, my brother, my friend.
Yes, sir.
I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for our friendship, man. Thank you for being on the show.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's the handwritten letters from home. It's the sleepless nights alone.